Okay, so this is my final prediction video, part three of the knockout stages. So the way that the bracket is set up in my predictions, we would have Costa Rica against Ecuador in the quarterfinals, Argentina against Uruguay, uh, a match that could easily have been the final, but I think Luis Suarez's absence will be costly. And then we have Brazil against the United States, and we have Mexico against Chile. So looking at the first match, Costa Rica versus Ecuador, I think this is a match that could very easily go to penalties. There's not much disparity in quality between Costa Rica and Ecuador, so it could go to extra time or more. I'm going to give the edge to Costa Rica just because of superior defense, and not having Keylor Navas is a huge loss, but he wasn't the reason they got to the quarterfinals in the World Cup. It was mostly because the back line held up Uruguay, England, and Italy in their group stage. So I'm going to pick Costa Rica to go to the semifinals. A lot of you are surprised about this, but I just got a feeling Costa Rica with their new manager Oscar Ramirez after the disaster of Paulo Wanchope at the Gold Cup last year. I think Costa Rica are out to prove a point that the World Cup performance was not a fluke, it was not luck. So Costa Rica, the Los Ticos, are going to the semifinals. Argentina against Uruguay. I think it's really unfortunate that they're meeting this early. Again, if not for Suarez's injury, I think that this could have been the final match, but this is a very, very difficult one to predict regardless because Uruguay knows how to beat Argentina. Any two of these sides can win. If Suarez is back for this match, if Suarez is back for this quarterfinal match against Argentina, I can see Argentina facing an early exit. I can see it happening. But you know what? I just don't see Argentina going out in the quarterfinals. I just don't see it. And this will be a rematch of the 2011 Copa America quarterfinals, in which Uruguay humiliated Argentina at home and eliminated the host nation. I think this is a perfect opportunity for Argentina to get one back against their rivals across the river, and I think Argentina will do just enough to get to the final. Low scoring game, maybe 1-0 after extra time. In fact, I think it is going to go to extra time. I think Argentina will win off of a penalty kick scored. So the other games, Brazil against the United States. If there was ever a time for the United States to potentially get a win against Brazil for the first time in 20 years, this is the chance. But I think this is where the Americans' road ends. I would love to see my U.S. team go as far as they can. We have a lot of potential. I have high hopes for the future, but Brazil's not an opponent you want to play in the quarterfinals just because they're Brazil. I mean, Brazil always beats the United States. Even at friendlies at home, they usually crush us. So I think Brazil's going to win. Um, Scoreline, I think 3-1. But we'll put in a strong effort. And then the other quarterfinal, Mexico versus Chile. Now, it's funny because later on tonight at 10 o'clock, Mexico plays Chile in a friendly. And based on my predictions and a lot of other people's predictions, they're going to meet in the quarterfinals. Now, I'm going to watch the friendly tonight, or at least try to watch it. And who knows, maybe it'll change my mind about how far Mexico can go. But for now, I'm going to say you have to understand Mexico playing in the United States, it's like a home game almost. All of their matches in the group stage are in states that border their own country in California, Arizona, and Texas. It's a very small travel schedule. I think Mexico is going to beat Chile in the quarterfinals because I just think Mexico right now are just on fire, and Chile have too many unanswered mysteries about the direction their team is heading in right now under their new manager. So I think the holders, the current Copa America champions, I think they're going to go out. I think Mexico's going to beat them, and Mexico's going to get to the semifinals because the United States is hosting this tournament on paper, but if you really think about it, Mexico is the de facto unofficial host nation because of the crowd support. It's going to be intense, and I think it's going to get them to the Final Four. So in the Final Four, we have Costa Rica, my surprise, against Argentina, and we have Mexico against Brazil. 2 CONMEBOL and 2 CONCACAF teams. This is the end of the road for Costa Rica. The fairy tale ended at the World Cup in the quarterfinals against Holland. It's going to end here against Argentina. They just don't have enough quality in the defense, despite it being strong, to hold back Argentina's wealth of riches in attack for 90 minutes or even 120 minutes. I think Argentina beats Costa Rica 2-0. If Argentina gets the first goal, it's already over because Costa Rica will be forced to push forward to look for an equalizer, leaving their back exposed, and their entire game plan goes up in smoke. Argentina wins and goes to the final. Brazil against Mexico. Oh, look at this. The perfect opportunity to see another Brazil-Argentina final, right? No. No. Mexico will beat Brazil and get to the final. Why? Because this Mexican team against this Brazilian team currently will eat them alive. And I just don't see Brazil getting to the final under Dunga. Brazil, I respect you as a footballing nation, but get rid of Dunga. Dunga is crap. He's horrible. And you've set priorities on the Summer Olympics, understandably, but against a team that has the passion of Mexico, that wants to win this tournament, is taking this tournament more seriously than almost any other side. Mexico's going to get to the final. And it's not a surprise, honestly, because historically speaking, Mexico and Brazil match up pretty well against each other. Mexico was the only team in the Brazilian World Cup to force a draw with them in the group stage. Mexico beat Brazil in the 2007 Copa America group stage in the first match, despite Brazil going on to win that Copa America. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, as a neutral observer, as an American, Mexico always matches up well with Brazil. They don't always beat Brazil, of course. Brazil beats Mexico many times. But the style of play and just the history between these two teams is very rich. And for some reason, Mexico's always one of Brazil's toughest opponents. So I think Mexico's going to win. I think Mexico storms into the final against Argentina. Third place, Costa Rica, tercer puesto, Costa Rica against Brazil. Brazil's going to want to finish somewhere on the medal podium, get some kind of an award, if it's not going to be gold and silver. So I think Brazil will beat Costa Rica and get the bronze medal. So Costa Rica will finish in 4th place. Brazil will finish in 3rd place. And now we have our final, Argentina versus Mexico. Wow. Before I make a prediction on the final, let me just say, I still stand by my assertion that the winner of Group C is going to get to the final. So what does that mean? It means I think the final is either going to be Argentina versus Mexico or Argentina versus Uruguay, which would be a classic celebrating the 100th anniversary of the tournament, to have the two teams with the most titles playing against each other, Argentina versus Uruguay. But I think Mexico is just going to edge Uruguay on goal difference in the group. And unfortunately for Uruguay, that means the difference between an appearance in the final or an appearance in the quarterfinal. So we'll have to see when Suarez is able to come back, and if the defense is able to do its job. Because if they can hold Mexico back and get comfortable victories against Jamaica, Venezuela, they could win the group. And instead of Argentina versus Mexico in the final, we could have Argentina versus Mexico in the quarterfinal. But anyway, that's all speculation. For now, the final, Argentina versus Mexico, is my prediction. It might change if I don't like the way Mexico looks tonight against Chile. Who knows, But for now, I'm going to say that this is the final. And as far as who wins it, guys, Argentina. Argentina's going to win it. I really cannot see Argentina reaching a third consecutive final and losing. They lost to Germany in 2014. They lost to Chile in 2015. If if Argentina gets to the final and loses again, doesn't matter if it's against Mexico, if against anybody, if they get to the final and lose for a third time in a row, they'll be laughing stocks. They'll be laughing stocks. And they will forever be remembered as a golden generation that just couldn't get the job done. That they couldn't clinch it when it mattered most. They'll suffer the same fates of other countries who have had proclaimed golden generations, like England and the Ivory Coast, who just were lauded and praised for their talent, but just couldn't go the distance, couldn't go all the way. So, Argentina, if you're going to lose, if you're going to get eliminated, let it be in the quarterfinal, let it be in the semifinal, but don't get to a final again and lose again. Because that would be, even as somebody who's not a fan of Argentina, that would be frustrating to watch. And it would hurt Messi's legacy. I really do think it would hurt his legacy because yes, he's done so many fantastic things for club, but for country, you get to 3 finals in a row and you lose. And that applies to the whole Argentine squad as well. It's not just Messi's problem. You boys have to get it done. You got to get it done. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think they'll get it done. So my prediction is Argentina will win the Copa America Centenario. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, actually. I think Argentina will win either 1-0 or 2-1, but Mexico is going to give them hell. And honestly, if Mexico pulls it off in the end and they win it, wouldn't be surprised. So, guys, these are my predictions. I think Argentina is going to win the Copa America. I think Mexico is going to be the surprise runners-up, although not a surprise to me personally. Brazil's going to get third, and Costa Rica is going to get fourth, much to everyone's surprise. To my American fans out there, I do think the United States will survive Group A. I think we're going to come in second. I think Colombia will be the surprise elimination in this tournament. I think Bolivia is going to be the worst team in this tournament instead of Haiti. A lot of people think that Haiti is going to be the worst, but I think it's going to be Bolivia. And I think CONCACAF is going to put in a very respectable performance because we're going to have a team in the final from both CONCACAF and CONMEBOL. So let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Give me your opinions, your feedback, and tell me why you think I'm wrong, why you think I'm right. And I'll gladly respond to any comments that I can below. So peace out, guys. See you soon.